Hello? Hello? There we go. I'm a fucking idiot. I just like to talk to myself. You know, it's what it is. Ezio auditore la la la. Ezio auditore la la la. Ezio auditore la la la. Shush! Your mouth. Ezio auditore la la la. Shush! Your mouth. Alright, we're gonna keep playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla, also known as Assassin's Creed Redundant. Assassin's Creed travesty of a game. And, see where it goes. I got pizza in the oven, so I apologize in advance for talking with my mouth full. And because, maybe I don't fucking know. My controller isn't even connected. You still hear me? Yeah. Alright, so if I play Discovery Tour, I also get a sword. My question is how long does it take? Let me see. Discovery Tour Valhalla duration. Cause this is for learning, right? Okay. 3 to 4 hours. Game on, man. We're gonna learn Viking stuff. The word Viking became a general term to describe the hordes of Scandinavians who raided and settled in various places in and around Europe around the 8th to the 11th centuries. Cool dealio.
Hi, traveler, and welcome to Discovery Tour Viking Age. Just like the brave Scandinavians who left their homes on longships in search of new horizons, a quest for knowledge and a promise of adventure awaits you. For 3 centuries, adventurers set sail in search of trade, land, and sometimes plunder, changing the world forever in ways that can still be felt today. We call these adventurers Vikings. Some remember them merely as brutal warriors and merciless conquerors. But there is much more to be learned about their rich and complex culture.
Okay.
History will come alive for you through the eyes of those who lived it. Norse merchants looking to make their fortune, an Anglo-Saxon monk in search of his life's meaning, and even King Alfred himself. You will follow their deeds, both great and small, as they navigate their eventful time in places known today as England and Norway. But fear not. Discovery Tour Viking Age is a safe, combat-free experience that you can enjoy at your own pace and in your own time. Tapping into the years of research of the Assassin's Creed Valhalla team, its content has been crafted in close partnership with renowned historians and academics.
See, that is fucking cool.
On behalf of the entire development team, we hope you enjoy Discovery Tour.
You could probably be more interested in this fucking shit than the actual game, and that would be sad.
May the seas be kind on your journey.
Discovery Tour. Discovering my will to play this game. What? Owner Thorstein, a young merchant, prepares to leave on his first raiding expedition, a perilous voyage across the sea. But before he leaves, he must settle his business affairs and attend the assembly of freemen. Okay. Bye, wife. Fuck you, I guess.
Your father would be happy to come to the farmer's company.
You'll be off raiding for months,
Gunilda.
not years. Shorter than your trade routes, even. The farm and I will still be here.
Shorter than my trade routes? You don't know what's shorter than my trade routes?
And return.
You had better, or I'll come find you.
Trick, do you have any questions for me before I leave?
No. I'll take good care of Gunhilda's reputation while you're away.
Oh!
I doubt she'll need help, but I'll be glad to know you're here all the same.
Is Gunilda like her daughter or what?
Come, Thorstein. The market waits for no man.
Or
Coming,
his wife?
my love.
His wife. Okay. So who the fuck is Trick? His brother or his son? Oh! I have a feeling that I'm gonna like this more than the actual fucking game, and that's fucking sad. You know what it's called? Narrative. I think 2 more minutes and I gotta take the pizza out of the oven, so I apologize in advance. Discovery sites and behind the scenes. Interact with discovery sites and behind the scenes and check the learning entries to learn more about historical facts and the making of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. La, 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 la. And that's my pizza. So I gotta go. Sorry, end of the stream. Bye. Thank you. I'll be right back. God damn it. God dingus damn it. What are you doing here? Cheeto. My boy. Where the fuck did that cat go? Now, if you so as get close to this pizza, your ass is grass. Just so that we understand each other, okay? Under no circumstances will you approach the fruits of my labor, especially since you've already eaten. And because you're a cat, and cats don't eat pizzas, okay? Good job. You're not disappointing me, my cat. And if you beg for this pizza, I will close the door. And you'll be left wondering what could have happened if you would have been a good cat. I might have given you a tiny little slice. Buddha. Alright. Where are my headphones? Stavanger. Stavanger was built as a natural coastal harbor in southern west.
He's a grown man, not an errant child.
Was built as a natural coastal harbor in southwestern Scandinavia. While little is known about its history in this epoch, what is known helped to inspire key events in Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Ooh. Dude. Of course it's in French, but whatever. Canadians. You learned the wrong language. It is said that the famous naval battle of Hapsfjord took place near Stavanger in the late 8th century CE. The battle pitted Harald Fairhair against a coalition of petty kings determined to prevent the young Jarl's rise to power. Among Harald's adversaries was a man named Kjolpe the Rich, Jarl of Adger. He was the inspiration for the despicable Kjolpe the Cruel, whose actions in Assassin's Creed Valhalla launched the player on a quest for vengeance, which we don't give a shit about because it's resolved like right there. To create Stavanger in Assassin's Creed, the development team drew inspiration from the trade market of Kaupang. Kaupang, picture here, is located near the modern-day city of Oslo, in Norway, which has terribly expensive liquor. Alright.
Slaves, talk Gunhilda. If he returns to his family and says we mistreated him, I might find myself in a duel.
No duels until you've worked on your swordsmanship.
I'm sure to get...
Household slaves. Slaves were a significant part of Scandinavian society, sometimes brought by merchants and traders. They were sold to wealthy households to help free men and free women with daily chores. Oh, I can come back to this shit? Alright, then let's just follow her.
Our enemies may not fight with blunted blades, but he promised me the children of Stavanger are far more fierce.
The children who struck you as you lay sleeping, then ran away laughing? You'll need to keep your wits about you if so.
Why do I like this more than the actual game? The Blender of Freemen. The Blender of the Freemen and Handymen formed the core social caste of early medieval Scandinavia. They worked hard on their farms alongside the women of their households.
Stavanger, as with many cities in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, is based on an existing city, also called Stavanger. To reconstruct it, level designers and artists used maps, pictures and drawings by archaeologist Jean-Claude Gauvin as references, adding alterations for gameplay purposes. While not all the towns resembled Gauvin's drawings, some iconic details helped give a Scandinavian signature to the towns and settlements of the game, easily recognizable by players. Narrow streets, docks, and a salient longhouse in the distance, they all incite exploration and the need for adventure.
All right. He's got money, man.
Wolf, good morning.
My mother loved the fine woolen cloak you sold me. The stitching is exquisite.
Of course. My wife takes great pride in the needlework, with good reason.
You must have been blessed by Heimdall. A vision so keen and hands so steady.
Hey, stop flirting with my
Only
wife,
a
I'll fuck you up.
talented mother and a very patient husband.
Give Alvik a kiss from me next time you see her.
I will. Fortune guide you, friend.
Stop flirting with my wife or I will fucking kill you. The Gothi or Lawkeeper. The Gothi was a leader of the community and held great social and political influence in medieval Scandinavian society. He presided over the Thing, the assembly where decisions on trade, war, and politics were made. Okay.
Just think, after a few raids, we'll have enough silver to leave this place for good.
Have you not been happy here?
With you, I would be happy anywhere. But Stavanger is small.
Too small for the grand dreams of the shepherd girl.
And why not? Even a worm may one day hold up the sky.
Come, Mikael has promised to aid you in my affairs while I'm at sea. You'll have plenty of time to dream while I'm gone.
Gunilla is a shepherdess, weaver, and eventual patron of the Scandinavians in Jorvik. See how much more fun the game is when you're a just fucking normal person? Valhalla rewards. The Elderman set. Bideo Gillenster. Unlock this where I completed all quests in the world. Early medieval.
Mikkel, it's a fine day for little business, don't you think?
Get away from here, Thorstein! I won't be seen dealing with an oathbreaker!
A what?
Keep your voices down. On what grounds do you base this outrageous claim?
That is for you and Bjorn to discuss!
Bjorn? Who the fuck is
I
Bjorn?
can't believe he'd betray me like this.
Manhelgi, a sacred space. That's an actual picture, by the way. Manhelgi was the Norse word used to describe a person's indestructible spirit. Helgi meant holiness, sanctity, security, and, in a way, peace. To respect someone's Manhelgi was to respect the harmony and order of the universe itself.
That long. He has to protect his own reputation first.
Not him, Bjorn.
I like the boots.
He's always sniffing about your trades like a wild dog. He envies your success and wishes to take it for himself.
Well, we won't let him. We've worked too hard for him to take this chance away from us now. We will not let Bjorn get away with this, I swear it.
Can I climb? I can. The North Way. Okay, feuds. Oh, okay. A cargo ship following the North Way would leave the Oslo Fjord, cross the Skagerrak Strait, and enter the North Sea. It would then hug the Atlantic coast to the North Cape, eventually arriving at the White Sea. To maintain powers, kings needed to keep wealth flowing to their allies and followers. Controlling part of the North Way could keep a king. Could help a king keep the riches coming and keep his followers happy. This holdings allow the young King Harald to dominate the trade route and rise to great political and social power. This map depicts the estates held by Harald Fairhair along the North Way. Norwegian coast, Ligra, Seim, Herdla. Okay. Alexstad, Fitjar, Avaldsnes, Utstein, and the British Isles. Okay. The Felag or Fellowship. A Felag was illegal. The English word fellowship came from the word Felag. Felags, or Fella in English, I guess. Fellow, Fella, Felag. Were formed from a number of reasons, including a building a boat or funding a sea voyage. A married couple could also be referred to as a felag. A felag was like a second family. Each felagi or member of the fellowship protected his companions and their interests. If felagi was killed, one of his fellows would avenge him, take care of his funeral arrangements, and honor his memory by immortalizing him in a runestone. This runestone was erected by 3 surviving members of a felag to commemorate their partner, whom they call the most unvillainous of men.
Bjorn, what have you done? What falsehoods have you been spreading about my family's honor?
Nothing but the truth. This sail your wife made, that you sold me, is as rotten as your intentions. You wish for me and my men to drown on the open ocean, where our bodies would never be found.
Are you a fool? Even if I wanted to leave you stranded and sail west alone, Harold would never allow it. He would make me rescue you, and then we would all be doomed.
I don't claim to understand you, Oathbreaker, but your methods are plain. I believe I'll go inform Harold of your duplicity. He should be arriving in a moment now.
My love, that is no work of mine.
I know. This was done by a hand far coarser than yours. Bjorn is trying to sabotage my place on the expedition.
You cannot let him accuse you in front of the assembly. No chieftain would ever take you on again. I will not see my parents starve because of Bjorn's lies.
Then I must gather evidence and bring his falsehoods to light.
I will speak with the wives, to rally them to our cause. And I will pray to the Haminja for guidance.
Our ancestors will give you wise counsel, I'm sure of it. I'll see you outside the assembly.
Go swiftly, my love.
If I were an impulsive oaf, why would I hide a sail? These crates came from not far. No local wears them.
Ooh, that's a whole fucking whale. Those are whole ass whales. Jesus.
Tell me, did Bjorn accept any wares these past few days?
Surely he did. I carried them myself. Wet and nasty they were, smelling as if they'd been stored at...
I need to charge my dad. Wait, hold on. There's like 3% left on my dawit. And if any of you guys text me, then I won't be able to answer because I won't see your texts.
The water's edge?
Did you happen to see what was inside?
No, but it had that damp sheep smell. Wool, I suppose.
Thank you, my friend.
He looks just like one of the guys that I work with. What the fuck? He looks like fucking Joe.
That is Gunhilda's stitching. So Bjorn planned to take her sail for himself after all. It will need to be more than my word against Bjorn.
Alright, what is that? Feuds of vengeance. In a feud was one of the legal ways to restore a person or clan's honor. Feuds were monitored by the assembly of freemen to ensure social harmony and order. A collateral damage had to be paid for by the participants of the feud, including words guild, the price of a man. Each person in society, according to the age, gender, and social status, had a given value that could be demanded as compensation. Oh, Verdsgeld. Geld like gold and verge like weight. So you're weighting gold, I guess. Each person's compensation, or if they were killed during a feud, their life. Vengeance and feuds were central to Ivor's quest as AC Valhalla. Okay, whatever. Justice and honor. Among ancient Scandinavians, honor was something ancient Scandinavians cherished, something called Heider, meaning brightness. Honor was said to shine. This idea of honor as a visible quality coño de la madre. As a visible quality that received its shape from the gaze of others was central to the ostentatious displays of wealth or to bragging about successes in common. Scandinavians engraved their memories in stone to make sure their reputation never died. The horror of banishment. Scandinavian was nothing without their community. By being banished from society and becoming an outlaw, a person was suddenly cut off from all the people they loved and who gave them purpose. They were separated from their family and even their long-dead ancestors. Without land, clan, or ancestors, an outlaw was considered no more than a beast, and like an animal, it was legal to hunt him. Banishment was a dire punishment for both the outlaw and his family. The shame and stigma of having a family member banished was great, and many families would do their best to forget that person. However, some chose to stick by the banished and share in their punishment. This was the case of Eric the Red, a famous Utlager. When he was banished from Iceland, his family left the island with him and settled in Greenland. Picture here is a reconstruction of Eiríksstaðir, the farm Eric left in Iceland. Nice.
Vouch for me as well.
Oh, I got my own personal raven? Cool. What is going on here? The land of ice and snow? Question mark? Ancient Scandinavia was not all ice and snow. It includes green, lush landscapes like these Norwegian islands. In fact, its soil was quite fertile along the coast and in the south, and could yield a generous crop. However, Scandinavian harvests did pale in comparison to those in the Frankish or Anglo-Saxon kingdoms, and an incentive for the invasion and settlement on those lands. So what is this? Hamingja, family spirit. Luck could be shared with a family and friends, but it had its limits. The Hamingja had to be treated with care and respect. If a person or family behaved badly, the luck could turn and the prosperity. And legend said that the Hamingja often appeared as a giant ghostly woman like this one created in concept art. So it's like Lady Luck, but also like an what's it call it? Fucking concept of karma, I guess. When exploring the world outside of a quest, you can customize your appearance by selecting a blade character. You unlock a specific character, look at their menu and whatever. I can play as Soma. I can play as Basim. I can play as Folke, whoever that is. Rebecca Crane. Ooh, okay. They fucking did her face dirty. I can play as Heatham. Stowe. Odin. Ivar the Boneless. Sigurd. King Elred. Ethelred. Alfred. Valka, also known as Boobies. Kilbert. Randby. Loki. Sean. Freya. Thor. But so far I can play as Thorstein. Brother Elric. Layla Hassan, who I don't give a shit about. Ivor, male Ivor. Female Ivor. Quita de medio, hostias. 3D modeling.
Even warriors get some playtime. Indeed, it seems that Vikings played board games that involved throwing small objects, such as carved wooden figures. However, the team couldn't find any clear rules for these games. But all hope wasn't lost. The developers of Singapore, Chengdu, and Montreal studios all came together to invent new rules and mocked up their prototypes in a tabletop simulator. And then probably got really angry when one of them won and the rest lost. Everyone on the team could experience and enjoy the evolving versions of the Orlog 2.0. A first physical prototype was also made, using real dice that were painted over. The game of Orlog was reborn. And AC Valhalla's version of the Orlog was so loved by fans that Ubisoft partnered with Pure Arts to produce real-life Orlog sets.
I'll change the title of the video to Discovery Tour so that when people go watch the video, they're like, what the fuck? You know, board games were often strategy contests like chess or checkers. In the game of Nefatafel or Tafel, one player controlled a king and his personal guard. He had to survive against the other player's group of attacking pieces were placed around the four sides of the board. This chess piece used in Tafel was made from a bone. Pieces could also be made from elements such as wood, tooth, and walrus ivory. Outdoor sports were very physical and competitive, requiring strength, endurance, and agility. One activity was the glima, a form of wrestling with no holds barred. In the glima, each wrestler had to struggle to keep his opponent pinned to the ground. Medieval Scandinavians also loved to ski. Interesting. Whoa. Runes and runestones. The Old Norse rune means secret or esoteric knowledge. Runes made up the Futhark, the runic alphabet. Each rune had a unique meaning. For example, the rune Wunjol, engraved in this little bloodstone, is the letter W, as well as the rune of joy and kinship. As with all written words, runes could carry memories and histories in the future. By engraving them in stone, the Scandinavians ensured their stories would endure. Runestones told a wide variety of stories. They could also honor people and events. Sometimes women would order a runestone engraved to commemorate the courage of their husbands and sons who perished in a battle or at sea. You got to stop playing with my cables. Thank you very much. No, buddy, you gotta stop playing with my cables. You're very cute, yes. And stay away from my pizza. You're a cat, not a dog. Do not start begging. Yes. Yes. He's playing with my foot now.
Friends, neighbors, listen to me. Bjorn has declared me Oathbreaker, calling my good name into question.
We saw the sail. It would have torn in the first gust of wind.
That was a sail he bought from Notfall, carried to us in sea-soaked wood. My wife's sail he kept aside for himself, to use once he reached the open sea.
I am familiar with Gunhilda's stitching. That sail was no work of her hands.
What reason does Björn have to lie? If revealing the truth is as simple as you say.
He hoped to turn Harold against me, to keep me from tomorrow's expedition, to hide the truth until I had already been exiled. If you care, for we who will travel with him. This insult cannot go unanswered. He would
Get away from my
endanger his
pizza!
crew for a petty grievance.
That's it. No, I'm gonna close the door. You have already eaten. Fat fucker. Jesus Christ. I will have to see a replay of that shit. I literally just pat him on the butt so he will get away.
He is unworthy of command. Free men of Stavanger, hear me. We must inform the assembly. We must inform Harold Jarl. Only then will our safe return be assured. Are you with me?
The assembly is about to start. I need to find Gunhilda.
Fashion was a way for medieval Scandinavians to showcase their will and influence. A person's jewelry and the color of their clothing were important status symbols. Yep. Like really bright colors was usually a sign of fucking wealth. Because in order to have colors such as red, which is colors that you cannot find in nature, you would have to actually dye your clothes red, you know what I mean? People don't think about that at all because nowadays everything's available. So it's like, I don't know. Family was according to certain ancient Scandinavian society, a person's spiritual and legal identity was tied to their family and their heritage. That's why, imagine your name is Bjorn Ragnarsson. Why? Because you're Bjorn, son of Ragnar. Sometimes they would even say their name like, oh, my name is Bjorn Ragnarsson, son of Kjotbi, son of Harald, son of whatever, and they'll just keep adding fucking names. Especially if they were important people, you know what I mean? The art of making charcoal. Wood charcoal was used as fuel to heat forges. The wood was left to burn and char in a pit for many hours before being brought to the forge. Am I straight enough? Oh no, I need to go up there anyway. Probably from inside the village, you know? Or do they want me to follow this path? Thorstein! Where are you going, boy? Boy! That's how you say my name in fucking Old Norse. Boy! What's your fucking boy? Something is a burning. The thing, or assembly, I actually want to learn about this. Things were held throughout the year. The chieftain or king presided over every session. He was sometimes joined or replaced by a lawmaker, the Gothi, who knew all the laws by heart. Laws had to be remembered because the Scandinavians had no written legal code at this time. Every free man had the right to speak freely at the thing. He could share his opinions, ask questions, and weigh in on issues of social interest. He could also demand justice or crimes or slights. Even though all the free men had the right to be heard, the wealthier members of the thing could use their influence to steer the assembly's decisions their way. When Scandinavians settled in Iceland, they held their thing in a place called the Thingvellir, the assembly field. Here's a photograph of Thingvellir today. Rocks. Woogie. Woogie. Beep beep boo. Okay, the creation of Ivor. A hooded cloak and a red sash. Only a few subtle details hint at the assassin's background.
Every detail matters when designing a main character. Personality, backstory, mannerisms.
Boobies.
Eivor the Wolf-Kissed must have a noticeable
Must
scar
be a woman because
and
we have to be
tattoos
inclusive
to
in what we
represent
use.
past events, beliefs, and clan affiliation. A mood board was made with various references from Mad Max's Furiosa to Major Motoko Kusanagi in Ghost in the Shell, which allowed concept artists to create compositions, silhouettes, shapes, and concepts. Then the character modelers designed the details, hairstyles, tattoos, outfits, and even leather stitching, while animators focused on body movement and facial expressions. Finally, actors Magnus Brun Nielsen and Cecily Stenspill were cast to give Eivor a voice, tailored to her or his personality. It's alive! Alive!
Grim. That was so cringy, please don't do that again. Aha! So in this little island, there's a few more things. Oh, so the whole of fucking Reykjavik, there's only this? What? Okay, let's go behind the ship. Let's get it all. Like, why the fuck not? See, in the actual game, whenever I see dots on the map, I usually try to avoid them because they're usually like fucking resources and rewards that are fucking shitty. Here, they're actual information about the Viking world, and I'm interested in history. I'm a history nut, so they're actually rewarding. The music of AC Valhalla. Isn't this guy from Wardruna?
Music is at the core of AC Valhalla's experience, defining territories and moods. To create an acoustic dichotomy between Norsemen and Angles, Norway's music borrows sounds from rituals and daily life, while England's music revolves more around the church. In total, it's 5 hours of music composed through the collaboration of Jesper Kudd, Sarah Schachner, and Einar Selvik.
I think Einar Selvik is from the band
To
Wardruna.
the uncontrollable delight of AC Black Flag fans, sea shanties were also added to AC Valhalla. They're sung as Eivor sailed...
Okay, that guy, shut up. Yeah, I think that bearded guy with the beads, he's in Wardruna. And Wardruna is one of the most prevalent, if not the main fucking Viking man among Amon Amarth, which is more like heavy metal. Wardruna has even had fucking how many fucking songs featured in the TV show Vikings. So yeah, they're up there, man. Hey, what's up, my wife?
I found your sail and the mark of the goods Bjorn claimed were ours. His lies are already...
I'm gonna go get a refreshment because I'm out of beer and I'm not about to drink another beer because then I have to go to sleep in like an hour and a half or so. BRB and Bruno Mars. You boy. I told you to stay away from my pizza. Once I'm done streaming, you can come sleep with me. Cats are stupid. Thank you. Let's go.
Falling apart.
You've done well. But I fear what you have found may not
This is
be
not beer,
enough
by
to
the way. This is
convince the
sparkling water.
Assembly.
It just looks like a
What will you
Heineken,
do?
but it's not.
I will demand a Manyatnatur and declare my own deeds as evidence that my word holds more weight than Bjorn's. His reputation cannot compete with ours.
Sound plan. I have rallied the wives to our cause and prayed to the gods. Even if you lose, my silver-tongued warrior, the women will make the Assembly see reason.
I see my heart beats as fiercely as ever.
Go now. Reclaim our honor.
Nobody talks like that.
Bless me as I defend my honor.
The free woman. The free woman in medieval Scandinavia were the pillars of what? The pillars. Fuck! I lost myself. Pillars of the households. Among many other tasks, they were responsible for the household's economy and keep a watchful eye on their clan's reputation. Can you fuck? Okay, this is gonna sound really sexist of me, but in my experience, all the chicks that I've ever dated in my life were fucking wrecks when it comes to money. Like they just fucking can't plan ahead, right? They'll see something and they'll be like, you know what? I feel like I want this, so I'm just gonna get it, even though I shouldn't. And then it's like, dude. You have no money. Can you imagine if your whole household's money depended on your wife? Let that sink in, you know. And I'm not. That's not to say there's not financially responsible women out there, but in my experience, I would venture to say 90% of all the girls that I've dated, and I dated more than 10 girls, so I have a good spectrum to talk about. Fucking finances, what? Money, what? I just work and I get money and I blow my paychecks. As the keepers of hearth and home, women were responsible for keeping both home fires, the cooking fire, and the vital force of the family burning strong and bright. And if the latter fire went out, the harmony of the clan would be threatened. Excuse me. For this reason, the hearth was sometimes associated with Yggdrasil, the cosmic tree and the pillar that upheld the order of the universe. If the home fire flickered or Yggdrasil crumbled, order and harmony would shatter. Also, trying to imagine fucking keeping a hearth on at all fucking times, but you know, it's easier to just keep a fire going than having to start a fire over and over and over. And they did everything. From heating houses to cooking to heating up water for baths and, you know. But anyway. I just unlocked Soma. Manjafnadar. Medieval Scandinavians were quick to defend their honors. Someone who felt disrespected could ask for a contest to determine who was in the right. If in one such trial by combat, the manfjara, the weapons used were words. How do we pronounce that? Manjafnadr. The Manjafnadr, the measure of a man, was a duel of words fought between an accuser and a man he was accused. The Manjafjara, the fucking thing was a boasting contest. The two men in front of witnesses would each brag about their deeds and exploits. If one of them lied about his deeds or showed a lack of confidence, he lost the contest. It was considered proof that he was dishonorable or at fault. The Manjafnadr was not only for mortals. In one myth, Thor, the god of thunder, found himself in a boasting contest with a ferryman who refused to carry him across a fjord. Little did Thor know that the ferryman was in fact his father Odin in disguise. This made for an exciting war of words. And then Thor fucking killed Odin and Ragnarok was issued. Don't quote me on that.
Thorstein Oathbreaker, come to beg forgiveness with
Okay, so we already established that it's not pronounced Thor, it's pronounced Thor. So it's not Thorstein, it's Thorstein. Thank you very much. You're welcome. Mi boya, my
Men of
penis.
the assembly, Bjorn claimed the sail I sold him was rotten. But I have found Gunhilda's work hidden, and the sail he claimed was mine came in sea-soaked wood from Notfall. He sought to ruin my reputation to cover up his poor trade, all so he could claim Harold's favor as his own.
Thorstein, if what you say is true, Bjorn is guilty of lying.
Oh, look how he's like running. He's like, ah, shit, they got me here. Ah, no.
Injury to your reputation and of an arrogance that could have led to the
Why do I like this more than the main fucking game? This is ridiculous.
Of his crew and yours. Yet he was the one to bring you before the assembly. So now you must choose. How will you defend your honor?
We will have combat aplenty across the sea. I choose the Manjapnatur.
Come then.
Manjapnatur.
My tongue is as sharp as my blade. Declare yourself worthy, if you can.
Boy. You wanna know why they call me fucking DJ Thorstein? I'm the Eminem of the 8th century, motherfucker. I'll fuck you up.
I'm the finest of navigators, at home on the sea.
If you saw a home, then it's where you should be. Yet the ships and the rations were handpicked by me.
The ships and the rations were handpicked by me.
True, but I was the first to be picked for this crew.
And Harold sought me when he already had you.
And Harold
Toma!
sought me when he already had you.
Ooh, man.
How can he believe you are the better choice? You're playing him for a fool. You're a liar, a thief, and a braggart, a pest.
My worst is still better than you at your
My
best.
worst is still better than you at your best.
Ooh, sick
No
birds.
truer words have ever been spoken. It's a shame I have to step in. It's clear that Thorstein is the one who has been wronged. It is my suggestion that
Why are you so
Bjorn
fucking
be
tall,
removed from
Harold?
my expedition
Stop drinking
and
milk,
exiled,
motherfucker.
Never to return.
No!
His lands and trade goods will be forfeit, gone to pay the costs of finding another navigator with so little time to spare. No, Harald. Do not draw more of my wrath upon yourself. I could have named you a murderer and demanded your death.
You play stupid games, you win stupid
What
prizes,
say you,
fool.
men of Stavanger? Do you accept the terms put forth by Harald Jarl?
We choose exile.
Exile. Exile.
Exile!
Then it is decided. Now come, Thorstein. We have
Thorstein.
a matter to fight.
Your Nord can't even fucking pronounce my name right, lad. Thorstein's reputation is restored, as is his position in Harald's good graces. Goodness gracious. Bjorn sentenced to exile no longer poses a threat to Thorstein and Gunilda's honor and household. Cool. So that took how much? Like an hour? We're also fucking around a lot, but... sure. So now that I know that I get rewards regardless of if I'm doing all the tiny little dots on the map, I'm not gonna do the tiny dots on the map, I'm just gonna go for the main quest. And we're gonna play as a fucking monk now. Which is my true self. Look at that bowling head. Through faith and fire. This guy's a Christian. So it'll be way easier to understand their fucking... First day as a monk and a master on the Isle of Eli. Or Eli, I guess. Unaware of the ebb and flow of power, Ealric has only one goal, making a good first impression. And if you have a smooth butt, the bishop is gonna take a liking to you, little boy.
Brother Elrich, awaken.
Elrich? Where's the H in there? Elric. Y te callas la puta boca, ¿ok? Presto di questo. ¿Qué cosa, eh?
Keep the abbess waiting.
I know the journey was hard on you, so I'll let you sleep through the dawn prayer.
Okay, but I'm kind of curious. Hold on. Ooh. The hours were markers of time that gave rhythm to the whole day. The schedule was regularly punctuated by divine services, moments of community prayer, and sacred celebrations. The hours were divided between daytime and nighttime. The nightly hours were the vigils, midnight, the matins and lauds, dawn. They were followed by prime, terce, sext, and none, or the first, third, sixth, and ninth hours of the day. Finally, the day ended with the vespers, the evening, and the compline, sunset. Initially, each monastery would have followed their own version of the hours, abiding by the rules set by their founders. In the mid-10th century, several monasteries and cathedrals adopted the rule of St. Benedict, standardizing the hours across southern England. Much later in the Middle Ages, the hours became more accessible to people outside the clergy. A book of hours such as this would contain devotional psalms and prayers. In this copy of the Book of Hours, each hour was associated with an important biblical event, often from the life of the Virgin Mary. One can see her here receiving the news that she would be the mother of Jesus Christ. I forgot who the angel was that told Mary that she was going to get pregnant without having sex. But, you know, what's that for magic tricks?
Now, the sun is rising. You must not miss prime.
I appreciate the reprieve and the awakening.
Call it a weakness. Your father's name will be a stone around your neck in Ely. You've a difficult path ahead of you, I'm afraid.
Yes, Abbess.
Well, there's nothing to be done about it. Better you prove yourself early than risk becoming the subject of gossip.
Look at that fucking actual fucking gold on there, but whatever. The founder and abbess of Ely was Queen Aethelrinth of Northumbria. She was also known as Aetheldreda, Audrey, or Edeldreda. She passed away in the year 1679 and was buried in a simple wooden coffin. Years later, the coffin was opened, so her remains could be moved to a new marble sarcophagus. According to the legend, those who peered into her grave met with a shock, for despite having been dead for years, Aethelrinth's body showed no single sign of decay. Yeah, fucking bullshit. The incredible preservation of her body was seen as a miracle, and Aethelrinth was declared a saint. This illuminated manuscript highlights her sacred status through the use of gold. Gold seen here in St. Aethelrinth's robes, frame, and more symbolize sanctity, importance, and direct connection to God. Nice. Nobody, you're not getting my pizza. You're gonna stay out there.
I will, Abbess.
You may break your fast in the kitchen with the others once your prayers are concluded. We don't frown on piety here, brother. Should you wish to stay at chapel to pray to the Lord once your duties are concluded, you may be assured that food will be available to you, as long as you go to the kitchen before terce.
Oh.
That's mid-morning?
Precisely, my son.
Photogrammetry isn't just a very hard word to say, it's also an innovative technique for in-game textures. Determined to illustrate accurate surfaces, the graphics team travelled to England to capture every inch of stone walls and pavements, sometimes for 12 hours straight. A 3-metre wall would take 250 pictures, stitched together by specialised software. The final result is a 3D file with colours and depths, designed into tileable textures. These textures are then used by level artists and modelers to add onto buildings. To push the realism further, the graphics team also added uneven silhouettes with protruding stones, slate angles, and damaged areas.
One thing I will say, the buildings and the architecture looks amazing. Abbess Magdalena. Like Maria Magdalena. Panoramic view. Oh shit. Oh, can I climb as a fucking monk? That would be the shit. Yeah, boy! Alright, enough fucking around. I gotta pray and shit. Oh, what is this?
Miss Prime.
What is an Anglo-Saxon? Some sources allege the Saxon, Angles, and Jutes were the three Germanic tribes who during the 5th and 6th centuries migrated to the ancient Roman provinces of Britannia, modern-day England, southern Scotland, and eastern Wales. Yes. It was once common academia to group these peoples under the umbrella term Anglo-Saxons. Now many prefer to name tribes based on where they lived, like West Saxons, Mercians, etc. The term Anglo-Saxon is flawed. It creates the illusion that there was some sense of common ethnicity between the Germanic migrants that wasn't necessarily the case. This map represents the early medieval Isle of Britain. Each colored area corresponds with a different group of people. In yellow, the southern part of the territory is Scots and the Picts. In blue, the lands inhabited by the Welsh. In red, the territory is settled by Saxons, Angles, Jutes, etc. Each crown represents a major kingdom, although there were at one time many more English-speaking kingdoms. Northumbria, Mercia, East Anglia, Essex, Kent, Sussex, and Wessex. Sweet. Wessex, because it's on the west. Sussex, because it's on the south. Kent should be somewhere in there, no? Where's Kent? Oh no, Wessex over here. Yeah, Wessex because it's on the west. Sussex because it's on the south of England. Kent. Essex because it's on the east. This is East Anglia, no? And then this must be Mercia and Northumbria. Yep. Sweet.
These scriptures are there as a guide, my son.
Church and testimonies. At the time of the Vikings, not many people could read and write. Many of those who could were church officials. Their writings were created and kept in the monasteries. Most of the pre-conquest English manuscripts that survived to this day were preserved during the Middle Ages, and a handful of churches shown on the map. Because the clergy's writings were preserved, the church's side of the story endured and dominated the historical narrative. The church portrayed the Vikings as bloodthirsty pagan brutes, and this image still prevails today, but bias and political motives may have helped to shape the church records of the era. You know what also could have been motivated by fucking biases? The Bible. But, you know, that's besides the point anyway. The Vikings were pagan or non-Christians, and the church disliked and often demonized pagans. The Vikings, who raided monasteries, were hated and a threat to the church's wealth and to the safety of its people. Furthermore, by portraying the Vikings as ruthless murderers, the church helped to drum up resistance to the invaders. The testimonies of clergymen could be helpful for Anglo-Saxon leaders fighting the Vikings. The more bad publicity they gave the enemy, the more effective propaganda it would be. Okay, cool.
When reading them, we must listen also for the voice of God, guiding us in the right interpretation of His Word.
But how can we...
What is monastic prayer? It consists primarily of psalms supplemented by hymns, readings, and other prayers and antiphons prayed at fixed prayer times. Together with the Mass, it constitutes the official public prayer life of the Church. The liturgy of the hours also forms the basis of prayer within Christian monasticism. The liturgy of the hours, Latin Liturgia Orarum, or Divine Office, Latin Officium Divinum, or Work of God, Latin Opus Dei, or canonical hours, often referred to as the breviary, is the official set of prayers marking the hours of each day and sanctifying the day with prayer. Ritualistic fucking worship, anyway. In the practice of Christianity, canonical hours mark the divisions of the day in terms of fixed times of prayer or regular intervals.
Pater noster, qui es in celis.
Padre nuestro que estás en los cielos, santificado sea tu nombre.
Adveniat regnum tuum. Fiat voluntas tua.
Sea tu voluntad, ¿cómo era? Sea a nosotros tu reino, sea tu voluntad tanto en el cielo como en la tierra. Padre nuestro, que nos defiende de los pecados y nos protege a los que nos ofenden. Que nos libre de tentación y líbranos del mal. Amén. Toma ya, chaval. This is so fucking Catholic. You don't even know, man. I don't remember half the words. Padre nuestro que estás en los cielos, santificado sea tu nombre. Venga a nosotros tu reino. Hágase tu voluntad, tanto en la tierra como en el cielo. Líbranos de la tentación y perdónanos, como también nosotros perdonamos a los que nos ofenden. Líbranos del mal. Amén. A woman. A relic is an object considered sacred because of its connection to a saint, a holy person close to God. A relic could be something the saint had owned or touched. It could also be their finger, their skull, or even their tongue. Because of their popularity, relics were placed in special containers to protect them from wear and tear. These were called reliquaries. As seen in this image, they were often made from precious materials. The most important sacred relics would be held in a church where the clergy controlled who could visit them. While the Discovery Tour wished to depict the value and sanctity attributed to a relic, the journey of the Winchester Reliquary in our game is fictitious. Yes, because you don't actually fucking have access to it. But then again, you know, it could be, you know, reliquary is, oh, here's the fucking skull of a saint. For all we fucking know, it could be just a regular ass man's skull, you know what I mean? Quita coño. The art of illumination. Creating a book was a team effort. Many talented illuminators might take part in decorating a codex or book with stunning paints and illustrations. Some would paint letters in rich colors and gild them with golden leaves. Others would fill the margins with beautiful patterns that would frame and embellish the text. Sometimes there were no words on the page at all, only colorful illustrations as seen in this 8th century manuscript, because people couldn't fucking read. Thank you very much. Quita de medio, puta! De putane.
Time to eat.
Time to eat. Favorite time of the day, man.
And then used to wear woolen garments.
A strict diet. Fasting and prayer were thought to purify the clergy and to strengthen their will against demonic temptation. Even when they were not fasting, monks and nuns would have been instructed to keep it to a strict diet. While not much is known about their food habits in the 9th century, scholars can make some educated guesses based on what the 10th century clergy were eating. It is likely that monks and nuns were mostly vegetarian. Meat or fish would only be eaten in special occasions. For example, a feast like the one illustrated here for the sake of self-denial. The clergy would have been allowed only 1 or 2 meals a day.
You rarely bathed.
Yeah, and according to Catholicism, if I remember correctly, on Pascua, which I don't know how to pronounce in English, Ashen Day, I think it is. I don't fucking know. You cannot eat meat or fish or anything. Wait. From all the Abrahamic religions, it's not as fucking hardcore as Muslims' Ramadan, which is a whole fucking month of not eating anything, just drinking water. You know. But whatever.
And before the 50th day, and before the day of Christ's baptism, and during the day, she rarely had a meal more than once a day. And from the time of Matins, she stayed in church, praying, until it was day. And through God's Spirit, she herself predicted when she would depart from the world. And she did then depart.
I think they're just fucking making all this up, man. He's fucking dying.
Are you well, Brother Oswin?
We must have silence at the Lord's table.
Que te calles, hijo de puta. He's gonna choke to death. Pat him in the back, dude.
Brother!
He's choking on something.
Very well. Take him to the infirmary if you must. But the bishop shall hear of your defiance.
Dude, he's fucking choking. Fuck you, man.
Where does it hurt?
Everywhere, brother. It's like there's fire in my veins.
Did you eat something poisonous?
Find a way to ease your pain. I promise.
You're a dumbass. I got you, boy. I know parkour.
No.
Making my way down church. Lord church, church. Lord church, church, Lord church. Medieval Christian medicine. Early medieval people believed demons and elves were to blame for some diseases and would seek supernatural cures for them. In some cases, alien patients would be prescribed a religious remedy. They would be encouraged to fast, pray, or go on a pilgrimage, a religious journey. The pilgrim in this illustration has traveled to the tomb of a saint in the hope of being healed. One could also seek help from the saints, holy figures marked by their closeness to God. It was believed that saints could grant miracles and heal the sick. Christians could seek out something a saint had worn or touched, add it to a mixture, drink it, and hope the saint's miraculous powers would do the trick. So much superstitions. The only thing that actually is a helpful tip and all that is the fasting. Because especially, imagine he got fucking food poisoning, you know. Drink water, don't eat anything, man. That's all you can do, you know. The praying, you know, helpful thoughts, I guess. What else? Go on a pilgrimage, fucking stupid. If you're broken a leg, it's not time to pray. It's time to fucking heal your leg and not go on a pilgrimage.
I must find the monk in...
That said, I think that piece of text was misleading because, you know, if someone fucking broke a leg, I think in the 9th century Christians were smart enough to be like, hey, maybe the reason why he's hurting is because his fucking bone is sticking out, you know? I don't think they would just recommend prayer in that scenario. I'm thinking more like in the cases of like food poisoning, or maybe there was too much fucking dirt in the water or whatever, and they got like fucking diarrhea or something like that, you know what I mean? Maybe they were having allergic reactions to something, or maybe they were diabetic. Then yes, I can totally see them saying, oh, you gotta fast and pray and go on a pilgrimage and touch a saint with your butthole.
Was it?
I hope you can treat that patient yourself. God, in his infinite wisdom, only gave me 2 hands.
The patient speaks of fire in the veins, Father.
An uncommon ailment, and one I don't know by heart. These scribes often copy remedies in the scriptorium. You may be able to find something there to aid you. But if not, Sister Winifred will be able to help.
Yes, Father.
Let's go to the scriptorium and see whatever fucking bullshit is in there. Medicines and medics. Although early medieval medicine was strongly influenced by Christian teachings, the healing process didn't rely purely on prayers and miracles. See, this is exactly what I was talking about like literally 2 seconds ago. Those who cared for the sick drew on classical and local knowledge of herbs from many sources. An excess in one humor. Oh, this is talking about the 4 humors. Which, by the way, persisted up until the 18th century. That's fucking ridiculous, but you know. It's so fucking... If you're into history like me, it's so fascinating to realize that literally the medicine that we know is like 150 years old. Let that sink in. Like now you break something and they'll like fix you up and they'll do surgery on you and they'll staple your bones or whatever and prescribe you antibiotics and maybe painkillers, and all that kind of stuff is research that's been done in the last maybe 50 years, 50 to 100 years. Before that, they'll be like, oh, you're suffering for the 4 humors, you're really angry, so you have to let go of your anger and pray to God. Fuck you. What is this? The scriptorium. The Latin word scriptorium, which in Spanish is escritorio, which is like a writing desk. Surrounded by parchments and quills, monks and nuns, known as scribes, work by the sweat of their brow to create, copy, and illuminate texts. Most of these works were written in Latin, but some were in Old English. Not all monks and nuns worked as scribes. While all of them were taught to read and write as part of their monastic education, only the most gifted and meticulous went on to work in the scriptorium. The monk who created this image of St. Matthew at his desk was called Edwig Bazan. He was chosen to be a scribe because of his talent and precision as a writer. Edwig's portrait of St. Matthew depicts some aspects of what a scribe's working environment could be, with a chair and the ink pot at the corner of his desk. Nice. The four humors. This is exactly what I was talking about. The humor blood was connected to the element air. Blood was thought to control someone's happiness and cheerfulness. Yellow bile was connected to fire. It drove a person's anger and impulsiveness. So imagine if you're like fucking puking and it's yellow. So it would be connected to your anger. Black bile was connected to earth. It brought on melancholy and anxiety. Last but not least, phlegm connected to water was responsible for self-control and apathy. A person's humors could influence their mood and behavior. Sad all the time, they might have too much black bile. Angry or the slightest thing, too much yellow bile. The theory of the four humors shows how medieval scholars saw the world as deeply interconnected. As seen in this 15th century diagram, these thinkers understood humans to be in a microcosm of the entire universe. Every element in existence could be observed with a single human being. Humanocentric, it's what it's called. It's the word you're looking for. Believing the world revolves around us, and not the other way around, because we're
Can I help you, brother?
Shut up, bitch. The sudden growth of humor, either red, white, yellow, or black. The body gains in bitterness and becomes as yellow as the good silk. Swarthy veins under the tongue. This tokens you associate to jaundice.
No.
Very strong, ambitious fever, a heap of sore on either side, frequent cough, and dryness of the tongue. Those tokens of any akin to them convey the presence of a liver disease.
Oh! Let me just... Ah, no.
I think he just has food poisoning, or maybe he's dehydrated or something, I don't know. The eye is yellow there where it should be red. For a man, a yellow black is facial look. For a woman, a liver red countenance. Those are among the tokens of devilish affliction and elven mischief.
No.
Nope.
No.
No. Blood flush. Collapse in the upper part of the belly or in the nether. Mecal sound inflation inwards. Frequent and often bloody evacuation due to infirmity of the rope, gut, or colon. Those are even more tokens of dysentery. He probably has dysentery, which is a bacterial infection caused by drinking poisoned water or water with too much bacteria on it, basically. That is exactly the problem.
I'll have to ask Sister Winifred.
Probably.
Sister Winifred!
I think, if I remember
correctly. We can't find a remedy. Tell me, what is the cure for fire in the veins?
A dire challenge, indeed. Oakes' recipe for pain should aid us here. You will need double brewed ale, honey, feverfew, and wormwood. Though with the raids nearby of late and the early first frost, you may have trouble with the latter.
Is there anything that can replace it?
Well, I have heard that dust from a relic can have miraculous properties. We're blessed here in Ely to have several.
Also, we're supposed to be in England in the 8th century. Why the fuck does she have an American accent? She's like so fucking southern. Whereas you're like British.
Perhaps if you gather some, the saints will intercede on your patient's behalf.
Thank you, sister. God bless you. Double brewed ale, honey, feverfew, and the dust of a relic.
God help minum handum. God help my hand. He's probably like copying so fucking hard. God helpe minum handum. Love it. Raiding the monasteries. The main goal of Viking raiders was to make a quick profit. Members of the clergy maintained that the monasteries were the Vikings' favorite targets, but did the Vikings truly single out the monasteries for attacks? Probably not. They probably raided villages too. But here's the thing, if you're keeping fucking gold to the Vikings, they're like, well, they're just asking for it, you know what I mean? Take a leap of faith, revealing the past from the ground up.
As the monastery of Ely had been destroyed, level designers and artists had to draw their inspiration elsewhere. More specifically, from the Saint-Martin du Canigou Abbey in France. Despite the construction being 2 centuries older than AC Valhalla's time period, it offered interesting architecture for the players to enjoy. Atop a hill for great scenery, a cloister to clear the perspective, and the bell tower to provide an iconic viewpoint. Finally, an underground tunnel was added, a unique feat perfect for a surprise attack. But some things remain accurate. Several eels were placed in the waters circling the monastery, a nod to the feature that gave it its name.
Interesting. Can I call on a horse? Yes, I can. Sorry, my nose is super fucking itchy. Move, bitch. Get out of the way. Liquid gold. Honey attracts flies and apparently Vikings too.
Honeymoon referred to the Scandinavian practice of giving newlyweds a moon cycle's worth of mead. Which is too much mead. But honey was valued by Angles and Norsemen alike. It was then vital for the developers to represent the beekeeping practice as faithfully as possible. Depending on each region's real flora, fields of flax seeds, poppies and heather were designed and implemented by modelers and level artists. The flowers used as a seamless way to guide players through their environment. The beehives, seen from afar, also act as a natural marker. You might say a beacon. And are surrounded by NPCs collecting the honey. Sorry about the beacon thing.
At least you admit it, man. That was the corniest joke I've ever heard.
The nuns had set up to gather honey round here. Do I just take it? Or...
Careful, brother. You wouldn't want to get stung. The bees jealously guard their golden hoard.
What's up
I
with
need
the audio?
honey for a remedy. Can you help me?
Of course. Take the honey from the table. I'll gather more for the abbess.
Thank you, sister. God bless you. One found. 3 to find.
The life of a monk or nunn was all about prayer. They would gather many times a day to sing and celebrate the glory of God. But it wasn't all songs and contemplation. There was also hard work involved. Who the fuck would want to be a monk then? Hard work? Well, excuse me, princess.
The relics are kept at the back of the chapel.
Parchment made to last. Parchment, a writing material, was made by soaking, scraping, and drying animal skins into a flexible, resistant sheet. While paper falls apart over time in colder climates, parchment can endure for centuries. Yeah, because it's fucking thicker. Probably way harder to write on parchment than it is on paper. God help minum hand. Minum handum. Making my way inside the parish, blah, 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 blah. Welcome to Hogwarts. School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. Where we talk like this because we're British.
That's 2. Halfway done.
I mean, at least they give you gameplay, but you know, I'm
ale in the kitchens.
I'm more concerned about that dude's well-being than the actual game itself.
That's the 3rd. Now for the last.
Oh, stop doing that. God help minum handum. What is going on? Telling time. People in the early Middle Ages understood time very differently than they do today. Somebody was called saw time as a creation of God. Time also gave rhythm and structure to people's lives. The reason for measuring time back then are not the same as society uses today. Hours and minutes were not used to calculate how much time was needed to accomplish a task. The schedule of the day was mostly determined by the course of the sun in the sky. However, measuring time was very important when it came to religious holidays. Medieval scholars would rack their brains trying to calculate when to celebrate Easter. Determining the date as the date of such a holy day was a very complex process and required a meticulous understanding of time measurement and arithmetic. How do they make up mathematical and astronomical calculations without a calculator? By counting up to 9,999 on one's fingers, as illustrated in this manuscript. Why are there guards here? Early medieval monasteries were far more than just religious centers. Monasteries played a major role in the economic, political, and social fabric of medieval society. Monasteries served many purposes and needs. Pilgrims and all visitors who arrived seeking spiritual guidance, medicine, education, and more. As seen in this image, monasteries grew up to great sizes to meet their community's needs. Monasteries were also among the biggest local landowners and by extension the biggest local employers in a given territory. Because they controlled people's lands and livelihoods, monasteries held immense social power and could help shape the political landscape. The authority and influence of the monasteries made them helpful meeting sites for other powerful elites. Local aristocracy and even royalty would gather at monastic centers to discuss politics. These nobles would often be joined by their entourage, whose presence offered its own set of challenges to the host. Not only did the monasteries have to provide food for all of the guests, a huge undertaking, they also had to take care that their own monks and nuns would not be tempted to sinfulness by the presence of so many worldly visitors. Yes. Yes, indeed. Oh. Or Mercia. Barriers of Mercia between Mercia and East Anglia.
Level artists and designers used different types of forests to structure England's kingdoms. Oak trees, ivy and rowan in Wessex, heather fields, Scott pine trees, moss and willow trees in East Anglia. beech trees, bluebells, and autumnal birch trees in Mercia, and tundra bushes, western gorse, dead and frozen trees in Northumbria. Ubisoft Sophia even recreated Wistman's Wood in Hamptonshire, using the pictures the development team took during their scouting trip. To do so, they integrated old, medium-sized trees, a smattering of rocks, a soupçon of moss, and a bit of fog to complete this ominous atmosphere.
And it all looks the fucking same. Wow.
Feverfew grows best in full sun, and hopefully far from the sisters' bees.
Why is the music so fucking ominous over here? This is probably a boss fight in the main game. I thought it was gonna help me see better, but it didn't. The church considered magical beliefs pagan and evil and forbade their practice. However, monks and nuns still believe in magical creatures like elves, and these beliefs continue to influence Christian medicine.
What does Feverfew look like again?
Good morrow, brother. What brings you to the woods?
Good morrow. Do you know where I could gather Feverfew or wormwood?
No wormwood left this season. As for Feverfew, no small white daisies are what you seek.
Thank you, brother. God bless you. I have everything I need. Now to mix it.
It's fucking incredible to see how fucking superstitious people were back then. Anyway, I think after this I'm gonna end the stream because I'm getting tired and because I need to go to bed because I work 12 hours shifts, and if I don't go to sleep now it'll fucking destroy me, so fuck.
Sister Winifred brought me the recipe from the scriptorium. And now, I am delighted to discover you know the use of the mixing bench too. Would that God had sent you to me sooner? The infirmary would be in far better shape.
I spent many summers mixing poultices for the townsfolk in Canterbury.
Then I shall observe, and hopefully learn some new tricks of my own. What was the first ingredient in Sister Winifred's remedy?
The first ingredient is double brewed ale.
Which two ingredients did you gather in the forest?
Why are you asking me this? Feverfew and honey.
It was feverfew and honey to ease the throat.
What did Sister Winifred suggest you substitute for the final ingredient?
Dust from a relic is said to cure many ills. There. Done. This should ease Brother Oswald.
The Dark Ages indeed. What the fuck? I've never looked at a map so empty and so complete. Come here, puto. He's dead.
Here, brother. Drink this. It will ease your pain.
Why are they both wearing eye makeup?
Thank you, brother. I can feel it working already. How fortunate I am that God sent you in my time of need.
Rest now. Soon you'll be back on your feet.
We're about to get raided.
You must come at once.
What's the matter, brother?
Do you not hear the bells? The abbess requires your presence at chapel immediately.
I'll go as soon as I'm done helping Brother Oswald.
No, you must go now. Hurry!
I hope the abbess will tell me what's going on.
What's going on is we're getting raided by people with axes, and we're gonna get our ass handed to us. Literally, they're gonna chop our butts off and feed them to us. Which, if you think about it, is fucking terrifying, especially as a monk.
Abbess, what is happening?
Come with me, Brother Elrich. The heathens are on their way, and we must secure the relics before they approach.
Then we shall all flee together?
No, brother. The others prepare to fight. Collect the reliquary, please.
What do you want me to do with it?
Forgive me, blessed saints, but I must carry you from your place of rest. Abbess, don't leave me!
Now come, we have no time to spare. Take the relic to your father. Our families may share no love, but we are of a mind when it comes to the Lord. He will know what to do.
That man is a stranger to me.
As was our Lord Jesus Christ when he died on the cross for our sins. Help often comes from unexpected hands, brother. Now, follow quickly.
I'm falling asleep, man.
Into the catacombs. Remain swift and silent.
See? The power of fucking narrative. This is way more entertaining than the main game. Why? Because it has a narrative. You have a character, you know.
The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He makes me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters.
You know what I mean? I don't fucking know. I don't know how to express it, but imagine if the whole game is like this and then you slowly become more stronger. You slowly do this and you slowly do that. Is it a linear experience? Yes. Could we have a little bit of open world on it? Yes. But not so much where everything's fucking... His flight ensured by the abbess sacrificed by the Elric is along with the precious relic in hostile territory. To reach King Elric's court, he will have to cross Viking ravaged lands and pray he is not discovered. No, but yeah, the main game is such a fucking chaotic mess because there is so much fucking content and so much shit to do. Whereas these missions are fucking fun, you know what I mean? Simply because... Simply because it's more focused and more linear. But I have to go to bed because I am fucking tired. Ah! Anyway, if you guys enjoyed, feel free to leave a follow. On my behalf, I'm gonna end the stream right now, and I'm going straight the fuck to bed, man. Because I am tired. But anyway, I'll see you guys maybe tomorrow. Bye-bye.